Hey guys, Don Music here. How are you doing? I know it's been a while. I apologize. I apologize for the silence. I have been watching what's been going on in the world of the warning and the world of the internet. I've been preoccupied with other things in my life, but all the important stuff, family, music, they continue, and that's what matters most. I've also been experimenting a little bit with my configuration here. I brought one of my utility studio microphones here. It's a condenser mic. Brought a compressor over, which I'm using in an insert point in my recording for the voice. So you should be able to hear me really well without me having to go back and edit levels and adjust things. Hopefully this sounds as good to you as it does currently in my headphones. We shall see. And I would like to do the warning music. How about you guys? Yeah, I figured. They have been dropping songs from the Teatro Metropolitan concert like crazy. Like mad. I'm going to jump into Revenant. Revenant is a song that I personally find very difficult to listen to because it means a lot to me. Great songs have a way of connecting with listeners in ways that matter to that listener. You know, our personal life experiences may influence the way that we what we take out of a song, right? What we take from the song, what we get out of the lyrical meaning, or what we get from the musical feeling. Oh, that rhymed. Sweet. In this case, this song has always meant a lot to me since I first heard it. So now, I would like to see this live version of Revenant live at Teatro Metropolitan. This is, of course, a Paulina song, in the sense that she is the lead vocalist. So I'm very, very, very excited. Now, a long time ago, I did see this on Patreon. But, like with all the ones when I was a member of Patreon, like with all of the songs I saw then, I did a quick look. And with this particular song, I had a hard time watching it just because it's so beautiful and the lyrics are very personal to me. Even though I understand what they're actually writing about. Their lyric writing is so good that you can take away whatever you feel matters most to you. For this song, yeah, I'm in there. But I think hopefully I've gotten past some of those intense emotions and I'd like to just appreciate the song and go in and try to see exactly what they're doing musically speaking in this, because this was quite the studio feat, I believe, this song. It was quite an effort. Lots of overdubbing of harmony vocals and things, right? Lots of different instruments played. There's only 3 of them. So how are they going to do this? Let's find out. Okay, here we go. All right. Wow. Okay. All right. Wow. That was incredible. Um, yeah, it did get to me. Not lyrically so much, because I've been through that enough now. Musically, it got to me. That one really affected me. And you know what it was? Was the harmony vocals and the lead vocal that just killed me in that. Especially towards the end. Wow. Some amazing work being done by the three of them. Fascinating. Fascinating to see how this works live. Um, I recognize the guy playing the guitar. He's someone who I've seen involved with them before. Is this the guy that has the same last name but isn't actually related or something like that? Villarreal? I'm not sure. If it is, I could be wrong, but I believe this is someone who has coached Danny on guitar playing some, and works in some way with her professionally in the guitar world. But he's clearly a fantastic guitarist or whateverist, because I'm not sure what this instrument is that he's playing. It's clearly in the guitar family. Looking at the physical design, the artistic design, I'm thinking it's a strongly Mexican instrument. There are a lot of unique Mexican instruments out there that are vaguely related to the guitar world, but are not necessarily classified as guitars. This one is clearly in the guitar genre. And either has been modified a lot, or it was built specially for modern use because it has built-in electric pickup in the F-hole, and the end pin spot for the strap has been modified to have an output jack so that you could plug this in and use it live. So whatever the reason, it's been well set up for a live performance, which makes a lot of sense, right? The number of strings, I was looking at the tuners on it. It seems to be like from the top, on the top range closest to the part you play, closest to the nut. It's like a group of 3 tuners, then a group of 2 tuners. Then on the bottom, it's a group of 3 tuners furthest away, and a group of 2 tuners. So it's 3, 2, 3, 2. So it's a 10-string instrument, which is really cool. It also clearly doesn't have a lot of high-pitched strings. Like a regular guitar, as you go along to the thinner strings, you're getting to the bottom of the neck, you're getting to higher pitched strings. So you can play pretty high up without having to go up the neck. And if you do go up the neck, you can play really high. And you play the thick strings on the bottom, on the physical top, defying gravity end of the neck. You can get way down there, only an octave above a bass guitar's lowest note. A standard bass guitar, not allies, which goes lower. So yeah, he was playing at the beginning. He would way up the neck. He was playing it like way up at the very top, and it sounded great. Obviously, the instrument is well set up, and he's a very good player, very, very good player. But to play that up there on a normal guitar, you'd play it down here just fine. And he had to go way up there, even though it's a 10-string instrument. It suggests to me that the 10 strings are not used for range of pitch as much as for doubling. They're probably like a mandolin, doubled strings, or any other instrument that has doubled strings that are in unison with each other. 12-string guitars have doubled strings, but they're an octave apart until you get to the highest 2 or 3 strings, at least the highest 2 strings, then they're just doubled in unison, the same exact note twice. So it's probably that sort of a concept where it's doubled. And that way when you strum it, if you strum both strings, you get a very unique doubled tone. And it has a very strange tone compared to an acoustic guitar. I mean, this is my incredible ignorance of different cultural instruments, but it has a very Mexican sound. It sounds to me like recordings I've heard of authentic Mexican music played on authentic Mexican musical instruments. And I couldn't tell you more than that because I've never focused too much on what the specifics were, but that's what it sounds like to me. And I think if that's the case here, that's super cool that The Warning, a Mexican group, are paying homage to their roots, which they were always proudly doing, which is awesome. They should. By in this huge, major concert of one of their not in the slightest bit Mexican sounding songs. I mean, other than the fact that I suppose all of their music is slightly influenced by their culture, right? Yeah, it's just a minor scale. It's not like specifically unusual or in any way, I guess. But yeah, it's cool that they brought this instrument in and also brought in this guest musician who is clearly fantastic. I believe in this concert they did feature like their bass coach, their drum coach, and this presumably would be the example of their guitar coach. So that's probably the role that I was talking about and may be true here. Okay, so now we've gone past that, and his playing was wonderful. And he played a lot of the lines from the original lead in the studio, but not all of them. Danny was playing strictly rhythm, strictly strummed rhythm through the whole thing on her Fender Acoustasonic. I believe that's what she's playing right now. And it sounds fine. It's perfectly good, and she's the only one playing rhythm. So she's required to be doing that. She's doing the work of percussionists and the general work of a bassist. Meanwhile, the bassist, Alejandra, is not playing rhythm for the most part. She's playing sustaining lines on the bottom, pedal notes to bring out the low end when she does come in, and some very pretty sounding, like root notes, but also some notes that I wouldn't have realized were the root of the chord that changed the sound of it beautifully. Very, very nice. Let's start again at the beginning here. Take a listen to some of the things. We'll talk about the vocals in a second too. All right, there I noticed. Now, there's one of two ways that this could be done. The sound of Danny's guitar is mostly over here, on my right side. Yet, as soon as the tempo started, I heard the strumming of picks on strings, almost exclusively, with very, very little actual tone of notes in my left channel as well, differently from the one on the right. There are two ways that could be done. It could be separation of frequency range in the mixing, so that the high frequencies are channeled to the left side while the rest of the body comes from the right side. It could have been done through her amazing Kemper Profiler pedal board, so that it's using like an acoustic sound on one side and a different acoustic sound on the right. It could be a modeled sound on one side and not on the other. I know she does a lot of that stuff. It could be a microphone on her guitar that's aimed at the left, or the Acoustasonic may actually have the ability to do separation of like a microphone version pickup of the acoustic sound versus electrified version of the acoustic sound. And so the guitar itself could have a stereo output, and it could be doing this by itself without processing, I mean. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Or it could be a track over here, and a track of the acoustic guitar just to get that strummed sound, because there is a track in this, I heard in a few places. But I mean, if it's a track, then it's awfully good sounding. I mean, I guess tracks can be awfully good sounding. I wouldn't put it past Danny to do this all by herself, though, for that particular effect. Because there's also the danger, if you are playing with a track on an acoustic song, if there's any deviation in time, it's going to be really obvious that you're out from that very quiet, perfect strum on the track, right? Anyway, let's continue.
Dear boy, tell me where you're running off to now, boy. Who will be?
Oh wait, maybe what I was hearing was the... No, I was hearing him playing the lead, so that's not what it is. Yeah, so his guitar is sort of over here. It's partway to the left. But that strumming sound still is distinct from it and is over here doing rhythm. Okay, fair enough. There's no bass guitar yet, I notice. Alejandra's not contributing musically yet at this point.
Dear boy.
Although, I mean, certainly the most dramatic looking person on the stage, isn't she? She presents quite an appearance. Her legs crossed, the big bass, dark hair. It's a very effective image right now on the screen, even though she isn't actually doing anything musically yet. But the spotlight's on Pow, and all eyes are drawn to Pow, or should be.
Tell me where you're running off to.
Let's hear that again. Pow.
Dear boy, tell me where you're running off to now, boy. Who will be the one to break your fall, boy?
Okay, so that's beautiful. So her singing right now, exactly like the studio. She's doing such an authentic job. They all will always strive to do that. Very simple, very clean right now. She's not putting a lot into it. I mean, she's putting a ton of work into this, but she's not displaying a lot of power or chops at this point, or special effects in her voice. Physically, from her singing technique, she's singing very pure, simple, with that nice fall at the end there. It was beautiful.
Be the one to break your.
A little vibrato shot there was nice.
Dear boy.
By the way, I no longer hear the strumming on the left side, so it must have been a track and then it stopped. Now I just hear Danny and a little bit of the other guitarist here and Pow singing.
Tell me where you're running off to now, boy.
Man, that control. And clearly I can't do it, at least not at this volume level in that range. Hats off to you, Pow, and incredible singing.
Who will be the one to break your fall, boy?
I love how she's whenever she does, there's like, I think she's just like one note there where she adds a little bit of her very quick, beautiful, breathy vibrato she can do. It's so sweet. And then at the end, boy, I'm gonna stop trying to sing in her range quietly. It just doesn't work for my voice. You get the point, right? The way she ends the boy part, boy, it's really, really nice. And there's a little break. See how, look how high up the lead guitarist is playing on the neck just to play a range that should be about an octave lower on the fretboard for most guitars. A wolf whistle in the middle. That's pretty funny. But, you know, well earned.
Be the one to break your fall, boy. Dear boy.
I've got bass coming in. Beautiful long pedal tone.
Forget all close
And Danny's singing now on the bottom harmony.
and start hiding now, boy.
So in the minor chord, whatever it is, that the verse starts on, Pow is singing the fifth. Until they change to the major chord, in which case now she's singing the third. But in the minor chord, where she's singing the fifth note, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Danny's singing 1, 1, 1. That's what it sounds like Danny's saying. So she's singing the main one root of the chord, and at the beginning is just a fifth between, which is fascinating. A perfect fifth, without a minor or a major note in the middle or any other complex parts in the vocals. And they're both going up and down at the same time. It's called parallel fifths. So Pow is singing da, 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 and Danny's singing da, 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 da. Those are parallel fifths. They're a fifth that moves up and down together in parallel, more or less. There was a time when that was a big, like, no-no in the composing world of music, and it was just totally evil, breaking every rule in the book to do so. And yet, historically, it's been a huge part of music, right from the very earliest examples of plain song and chant, when perfect fourths and perfect fifths moved in unison at times. It was fascinating. But that became kind of outlawed in music in the time of Bach. Bach was such a super intellectual and theorist and also improviser. He found that there are ways that it was disturbing to listen to that didn't fit in with where he was projecting the music to go forward to, as did his contemporaries at the time and before him and after him. Everyone of those period, Corelli, all those people in that generation in different European countries, were all coming to these sorts of general massaging of the rules so that parallel fifths were no longer okay. But listen to them here, because what it does is it brings us back to this this different sound of a distant darkness, and it's yearning, and it almost does for me, because I listened to all these things in like analysis mode when I was growing up studying, because I had to as part of my degrees and stuff. I was listening to chant and plain song, let's use the correct term, and the origins of contemporary music. Hearing those sounds vocally, just like that alone, it makes me think of like a church cathedral and an open reverberant area. It just makes me kind of melancholy, but happy and content at the same time. Anyway, let's continue.
It's about time that they hunt you down, boy.
And here, Danny has stopped singing the root, and she's singing the fifth, and then she goes up to the sixth and the four. Actually, she's going up to the 5 and the 3 because we've gone to a minor 4 chord. So at the end there. So that's very interesting. Just to keep a good distance between she and Pow, I guess. But it's interesting to hear harmony vocals where the harmonist is singing below the lead. The lead melody is higher than the backing vocal here. Very unusual.
Say goodbye to all the other.
This is what kills me. Man, these vocals are so good. So now Pow continues to sing the melody, and Danny is now singing a higher ooh or ah or whatever it is she's singing. And Alejandra comes in, and that's when it's just the magic starts between the two of them, or between the three of them. But between Danny and Ale, they're blending. And Ale's tone for this sort of stuff is incredible because it's got this velvety tone. Just very, very nice sounding.
You down, boy. Say goodbye to all the others. Call it close and crunch the numbers. Wash your hands and wash your feet.
Sorry, I know. Don't mean to interrupt you, pal, but I'm listening to the BG vocals. At first, I thought there was a track for one of the vocals. So there's actually 3-part harmony in the oo part or ah part or whatever they're saying. We'll just call it ooze. But I don't think so. I think that was instrumental, hitting the dum, the root of that chord, and then I presume it's Ale singing this note and Danny singing this note. So it's just 2 parts, dum, dum. But Pow is singing dum in her range. And I know she's wandering off and on, but I think the guitar also is hitting that dum note. So we've got the root of the triad here, of a minor triad. So it sounds like there's more vocals going on than there are. It's just 2 doing ah and 1 singing lead. But it's magically arranged and sung.
Say goodbye to all the others. Call it close and crunch the numbers. Wash your hands.
And here, so that's what Ali's singing, and then Danny's singing, I believe. So those together provide moving notes that sounds again like a triad. But here at the end you can hear it's just and ah from Danny and Ale, and you would think there'd be a dum in the bottom, but it's inferred and played on one of the strummed notes by one or both guitars. So we still get the sound of 3-part harmony or more because the balance is so good. That's part of what's so magical here. The balance of the background vocals and the instruments and Pow is perfect. Like, I am absolutely blown away with this mix. And the performance, because they, to do that, also have to listen themselves with a really good mix. It's incredible. This performance and recording and mixing are incredible. Let's hear that again.
Say goodbye to all the others. Call it close and crunch the numbers. Wash your hands and wash your feet. Walk on water. Find me someone to blame. Find me somewhere to aim. And I don't know the right or wrong. A melody without a song.
Damn, I just got huge shivers from that. There's so much in these vocals. Wow. Danny doing parallel fourths. Walk on water from Pow and walk on water from Danny. Right? You know what I'm trying to say here. So it's a perfect fourth between the two of them moving up. And LA stops singing at that point. And then in this next part where Pow does that incredible thing that she can do, and I swear to God, only she can do like this. That is magical. Focus on Pow for a second here. Holy crap.
Say goodbye to all the others. Call it close and crunch the numbers. Wash your hands and wash your feet. Walk on water. Find me someone to blame. Find me somewhere to aim.
Her vibrato just kills me. Oh my God. How does she do that? That vibrato of Pow is just like, I can't even begin to imitate it. It's fragile and fast and gentle and perfect and emotional. And a couple of times her voice cracked in just that special Pow way. Oh my gosh.
Say goodbye to all the others. Call it close and crunch the numbers.
That, when she does the vibrato thing there, it's so good.
Wash your hands and wash your feet.
But how does she do that? Yeah, how does she do that? I'm so envious of people who are just like really, really amazing, memorable, unique vocalists who still have skills, but also a unique personality like that. It's just exceptional.
Walk on water. Find me someone to blame. Find me some.
Forgot to mention, Ali's voice is over here. Danny's voice is over here. Pow's right in the middle. So, well, that's cool. It's great to hear Ali's voice so well in this, and singing so well in this too. Like, I dare say that Ali's singing in this simply without flaw. Pitch, tone, choices, levels.
Say goodbye to all the others. Call it close and crunch the numbers. Wash your hands and wash your feet. Walk on water.
So I think what they're singing here, Ale and Danny, is mm-hmm. Well, Pow goes mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think they're just singing the unison note but up high. Mm-hmm. And then they do these amazing chords.
Find me
Ali's really singing here, and honestly I hear her voice more than Danny the first time.
someone to blame. Find me
And again.
somewhere to aim. And I don't know the right or wrong. A melody without a song.
I don't know, I think it's ooh, 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 between the right and the left, between Danny and Ali here. I'm not sure. And leaving so much room for the lead vocals, but so critical to have these harmonies.
Show me the truth inside. Show me to stay alive. 'Cause I don't know the right or wrong.
Yeah. Ooh,
A melody without a song.
ooh. Now again with the guitar track on the left side that I didn't hear for most of that. Interesting. Oh, I wish I could figure out what notes the harmonies are here. That's cool. Are they moving with Pow? Because Pow's lead is incredible here, just the little hummed part. And clearly, Ale and I think Danny are humming along. I think it's or something like that on the left side, and probably Danny's doing the same, but she's actually quieter than Ali, so it's hard to tell, which is weird to say out loud. I love Danny's change in vocal here. Right? It's beautiful. Not when I sing it, but I'm just demonstrating the part that she's singing. And I love that. It's instead of like the first verse, she's singing a moving line that's progressing upwards and propelling the song forward with a different kind of more positive energy. It's less church and more anticipation, you know? Wow, fascinating. Interesting harmonies. Man, oh man, so good. Okay, now I think this is the second half of the verse. Dear boy, tell the wolves you're finally coming home now. Ooh, Danny and Ali in unison. I think why it sounds like Danny's quieter is because there's a lot of reverb on her voice. Possibly more than Ali. Or it might just be the tone of her voice, which is less breathy, exposes the reverb more, or invokes it more. But anyway, cool. Here, let's listen to that again. Sorry. Fingers point not at you now. See a little glance from Pow to Ali, and Ali gives her a little smile. That's sweet. Let's look at that again. Look at Pow. Quick glance at Ali. Ali smiles back. I love that stuff. Dear boy. Dear boy. From the harmonies. Tell the wolves you're finally come. Ooh. Oh man. So I'm having bit rate issues. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, we'll continue with that. Sorry. So they start in unison, but then Ali goes down a third or something like that. Still up high though. Boy, tell the wolves you're finally coming home now. Do what you are best at, burn it all down. Danny looked like she stopped singing, and I hear her cutting down more. Ali's clearly singing, and there's like a central sort of sound, and I heard Danny sort of stop singing, and I see her stop singing a little bit there. She wasn't singing that part, that was an Alejandra part. Just in the last bit of that. Notice that? Very cool. It's interesting, because you can hear the right side drop out, and you can also see it. Say goodbye to all the others, call the close and crunch the numbers, wash your hands and wash your feet, walk on water, find me Oh, I love that. The guitar, or whatever it is, doubling Pow's line there, but in a slightly different rhythm. It's so beautiful. Listen to Pow here, and then the one guitar comes in.
Say goodbye to all the others. Call the close and crunch the numbers.
And sorry, her tone here, Pow's vocal tone here, is 100% Pow, right? Like, it's got her huskiness, her richness, but that sheen on top that she adds to it, it's slightly distorted when she pushes it like this, but in a very endearing way. Still tons of control on it, but I love it when she does this.
Wash your hands and wash your feet. Walk on water. Find me someone to blame. Find me somewhere to aim. And I don't know the right or wrong. I'm ready without a song. Show
Wasn't that brilliant with the guitar? Oh man.
me the truth inside. Show me to stay alive. 'Cause I don't know the right or wrong. I'm ready without a song. You can't erase what has been done.
Now this is fascinating. So Danny on the radio is going, but up an octave. That would sound horrible to you guys if I sang. And Alejandro's doubling Pow, but down an octave. Right?
I don't know the right or wrong. I'm ready without a song. You can't erase what has been done. You can't forgive. You can't move on. But we cannot escape the time. A far-room mistress keeping time. You can't erase what has been done. You can't forgive. You can't move on. But we cannot escape the time. A far-room mistress keeping time.
Wow. I love the visual communication here. Pow and Danny, eye contact, watching, cueing, making sure they're exactly together and ready to enter perfectly together. Pow has to breathe first. Wow.
We cannot escape the time. A far-room mistress keeping time. Find me someone to blame. Find me somewhere to aim. And I don't know the right or wrong. I'm ready without a song.
Oh, man. Sorry. When Pow's voice cracks like that, it just kills me. Man, oh man. Thanks, Pow.
Somewhere to aim. And I don't know the right or wrong. I'm ready without a song.
Do that without the glitch in my computer.
I'm ready without a song.
Nice. Bass comes in for the last couple of chords, but it's very gently. You can hardly hear it, but it's there just a little bit. Little support. Nice. Nice. Wow. Man. Another song that killed me. But just because of its sheer beauty. Man, oh man. Yeah, it's interesting. The lyrics have had their effect on me over the last year or so, year or two, but the melody and the performance here are what just destroyed me. So good, so beautiful. The effort, the work that they put into this, and the artistry to come up with something where they're working with a different musician, on the stage live, creating this song beautifully. If you guys know what the instrument's called, please let me know, because I just don't know those names of the instruments, and I'd like to learn more about it, about the tuning of it and stuff like this. Yeah, Anyway, this was super cool. There's so many beautiful, unique musical instruments in the world, and we tend to think it's like, oh, guitar, bass, drums, keys, violin, viola, whatever. There are a gazillion different instruments, and they're all equally valid and all equally beautiful and fascinating to work with, and they should all be part of our international music. Bringing in a little bit of world music, a little bit of Mexican heritage into rock and roll, even though the song isn't rock. They're a rock group, so the rock group listeners are being exposed to something miraculous here. I'm so excited to have been able to see this in such a beautiful recording and beautiful video and such an incredible performance. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. Sorry this was long and meandering, but I mean, it's me. It's the way I do things, but I wanted to wait and do this song right, and I haven't really had the time or been in the mood to sit and analyze such a personal song to me for a few days now. So that's why I was a little quiet. Well, that and the fact that I've been incredibly busy focusing on other rather critical things going on in my life. It's all good, guys. It's all good. Hope you have a great weekend, rest of your weekend. This is a weekend still for me. It's a holiday Monday here in BC. It's BC Day, British Columbia Day. And so, yeah, I'm at home today. I'm still working, but this is beginning of me getting back to my videos. It was a bit of a break there, and I'll try to do more for you. All right? Like, subscribe, comment, and... oh, I did what my son did. Hang loose. Rock and roll, guys. Have an awesome day.